Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, until now we have seen the pulp production. Okay, now we will see what is paper production or a paper mill. Okay, in the large integrated plants, both these pulp operation and as well as paper preparation are both merged into a one single integrated paper pulp and paper production plant. So now in detail we will see what is a pulp paper mill. So what is paper first? So paper is nothing but a thin material produced by pressing together moist fibers, cellulose pulp derived from wood, rags, grasses, and drying them into a flexible sheet. So one definition we can find out like this: a thin material, nothing but derived from a pulp. Okay, all these pulp is further derived from the wood, rags, grass, or any of the raw materials and drying them into a flexible sheets. Or we can define a paper as matted or felted sheets of fibers, usually cellulosic. So that fiber is composed of cellulose and generally formed on a fine wire screen from a water suspension. So this is one part of a definition for the paper. So both are same. Both they are saying a thin material or a felted sheet of fibers or nothing but both are same. Then what are the raw materials required for this paper production? So raw materials. So okay, then what are the raw materials required for this paper manufacturing or a paper production? So the basic raw materials involved are the fibrous and non-fibrous raw materials. What are the fibrous raw materials? Nothing but a pulp, which can be derived from any type of wood, ground wood or a recycled paper, softwood, hardwood, or any type of linen rags, cloths, everything can be used to derive the pulp. Then this pulp forms a basic raw material for the paper industry. Then the non-fibrous raw materials are like sizing agent, fillers, additives, and various other dye stuffs. We can say coloring agents. All these forms the non-fibrous raw materials. So out of this inorganic fibers, inorganic raw materials are clay, talc, titanium oxide, zinc sulfide, calcium carbonate, calcium sulfate, barium sulfate, alum, like these components which are formed as a fillers, which are found as a fillers or additives in order to obtain a glazing structure for the paper, white structure for the paper, or other organic materials like rosin, glue, casein, wax, glycerol, dyesters for the coloring, etc. This can form a basic raw materials for the paper industry. Then first one raw material is a pulp, and pulp in turn is derived in the first section. So we can verify what are the raw materials required like softwood, hardwood, etc. Then non-fibrous materials like inorganic and non-organic, which accounts as a fillers, sizing materials, coloring agents. Like this, all agents will form as a non-fibrous raw materials. Out of this non-fibrous or inorganic stage, like clay, talc, titanium dioxide, zinc sulfide, calcium carbonate, calcium sulfate, barium sulfate, alum. These forms comes under the category of inorganic raw materials. Whereas organic raw materials are rosin, glue, casein, wax, glycerol, dyestuffs like inorganic pigments, or we can take directly dyes also. So all these nothing but a coloring agents. So it will act as a filler, sizing materials or additives in the paper manufacturing unit. Then methods of production of paper. So how do we produce a paper? So the raw material required is this one, pulp. So pulp is produced. We know how the pulp is produced. Then after obtaining the pulp stock, the start of the flow sheet is here. So this pulp stock will be prepared as a dilute compositions. Pulp is nothing but a fiber or a cellulose material. So this pulp fiber will be prepared as a dilute solution in water. Very dilute solution of pulp, usually half to 3 by 4th of the fiber will be there. In that one, 99.5 percentage fiber content, everything will be there. Water suspension in fiber. So 99.5 percentage water suspension is fiber will be there. So how to prepare that dilute amount of fiber in water? So one rotary drum will be there. To this one, a kneader or a knives will be attached. So the pulp slurry will be prepared in a such a way that water and pulp will be mingled with each other in order to form a viscous shear. So that viscous shear, if some viscous slurry will be formed. So after forming this slurry, okay, whatever this slurry will be formed, this operation is called a beating and refining is called. So beating or refining is called. The whole instrument here is a beater. So here the pulp will be mixed with the water in order to form a slurry of viscous slurry of this fiber pulp plus water. Then this operation is called a beating or refining. So the process equipment used here is a beater. So beater is nothing but a rotary drum, a tank with a rotary drum. Through this rotary drum, a knife, small knives will be attached in order to just shred that pulp and to just add a suspension of this pulp to water. Then this finally this viscous slurry will be taken into this screw conveyor, and through this screw conveyor it is fed to a storage tank. Here this slurry, okay, up to here the slurry will amount more than 99.5 percentage of water. So this slurry will be just fed to the this pressing roll. So first what happens in the paper manufacturing, from here it is a raw material preparation until here. So in any of these two stages, like a beating section and refining section, or in storage section, we will add many of the raw materials like fillers. Okay, fillers. Why do we add a fillers? Fillers are used to increase the brightness, bulk, flexibility, opacity, softness, and weight of the finished paper. To increase the finished paper, fillers are added. Filler materials. We will discuss that one in the additives. So fillers are added here in order to increase the brightness, bulk, flexibility, softness, opacity, weight of the finished paper. We will add a fillers here. So okay, in these stages. And sizing materials. Why do we add a sizing material? So to reduce the water or other liquid penetration. So we want our paper, finished paper, to not to be wetted by the water. So like oily paper. So oil paper, we will say for the weighings we will use that oil paper in the laboratory. So that oil paper, how do we prepare? So it will be resistant to water. So some sizing materials will be added in order to avoid the resistance, in order to increase the resistance to water penetration into the finished paper. So sizing materials will be added, or filler materials will be added. If we require a color paper, so the different colors of paper, we will add some dye stuffs or some water insoluble pigments here in order to give a color to that paper. So all this will be added here, and then it will be passed to the rolls. So here the paper formation has a three stages. One is the formation of paper. In the formation of paper, so there are three stages. One is the formation of wet web. So first formation of what we call that's random arrangement of fiber. Here the fiber content is there, very dilute amount of fiber content is there in water. So first it needs to be arranged, the fiber content. So if you see that one, textiles also when they are just that people are doing that one, so they will just arrange the fibers, okay, so that some cloth will be manufactured, same as like that. So here also fibers has to be rearranged. Then after rearranging that fiber, that water present in that particular mat or a paper has to be removed. So wet formation of wet web, that is called. So then to suction, some suction mechanism, that water will be removed. And finally the progressive removal of water, left out water will be carried out using the drying rolls. So these are the three steps. First one is formation of a or a arrangement of a fiber. First the arrangement of a fibers in a wet web, then removal of water from the wet web, then afterwards removal of left out water using the heated rolls. So these three steps will be involved. So first one is the formation of wet web. So how do this rearrangement wet web will be formed? So wet web will be formed until here, 99.5 percentage water is there. So after passing through this one, through the pressing rolls, first what will happen, the wet web is formed, a slurry is just it is moved on a endless belt. Through this endless belt, one pressure roll will be there in order to remove the water. Some part of the water will be just going by the gravity. The gravity section will be there. Through the influence of gravity, some part of the water will be removed, and using the some part of the water will be removed using the pressing roll. Some mild pressure will be applied on that formed bed sheet, and other part of and remaining part of water can be removed using this suction rolls. So using some motors or suction rolls, some part of the water will be removed, some part of the water will automatically removed by the gravity, and some part will be removed through the pressure rolls by applying a mild pressure to it. Then the collected water is known as a white water. So collected water from here in the first stage is known as a white water. Then this white water will be recycled back to this beater once again in order to recover the left out fibers. Whatever the fiber content is there, we can recover here, or whatever the finishing materials or the additives we added, in order to recover them, in order to reuse them further, we will just recycle this white water. And at the same time, in order to lower the stream pollution, water stream pollution, we will recycle up to many a times in this beater. Then after this web is formed, then the next step is pressing the wet sheet. Until now, the water content here is 80%. And here, until here, 99.5% is the water content. And after passing through this first one, formation of wet web. So in the formation of wet web, in the last, the slurry, that sheet will contain 80% of water. Still, this water content has to be removed. Okay, this sheet will be sent to the pressing of wet web through a series of rolls. So this is called a felt rolls. These rolls are called a felt rolls. So this water content will be lowered by application of a mild pressure. Very mild pressure will be applied through passing through the some felt rolls. Then after passing through these felt rolls, the water content in that sheet will be 60 to 65%. Then now the paper, with whatever the paper is formed, so that paper is capable of capable of having a sufficient strength to carry its own weight. So to carry its own weight, that paper will acquire a sufficient strength. Only 60 to 65% water is there. Further, we have to dry this water content 60 to 65%. This has to be passed through the next section called a drying of the sheet section. Here the drying section is there. So this sheet will be just passed through the smoothing rolls. This is called a smoothing rolls, and or a heated rolls, we will call steam heated rolls. This will be steam will supply a heat to this one. So this rolls, through these rolls, the sheet will be passing. So due to the heating and simultaneous humidification, everything, so the paper will just the water will be just removed from the sheets. Then after passing this through this drying blanket, this entire section is called as a drying blanket, because every here these rolls are heated rolls. Because of this, it is called as a drying blanket. After passing through this drying blanket, the water content in the final sheet will be 5 to 6%. So still this water content has to be removed and further it should be dried. So in the final section, a calandria equipment will be there, a calandria technique or a calandria equipment we can say. It will be passed through a calandria rolls, a series of rolls. Through this series of rolls, if you see, the sheet is coming here like that, first sheet is coming here like that in the pressing roll, and after that the bottom one is the endless roll. After that, before this felt rolls, if you require a bond paper mark, or if you require some company mark, something will be just added to this die. So that mark will be added here if required. If that is required, then it will be sent to this felt roll. So felt roll, here it is coming like this. So through this roll, it will pass as like this, and here from here to here it will go, and from this felt roll, each of the felt roll, it will just pass with a mild pressure. Then it will come finally to here like this, and it will go through this, through the heated steam heated drying rolls, and through this one it will pass through this heated rolls like this, and after that it will just go. These are called as supporting rolls. This doesn't have any pressure, applied pressure or nothing. These are called as supporting rolls. In order to move smoothly between one section to another section, this type of many number of many number of supporting rolls will be there. After passing through this, it will be passed through a calandria equipment. In the calandria equipment, the remaining part of water will be removed. So like this, it will pass. Like this, it will pass, and finally, this obtained sheet of a paper will be wind into a roll. So large rolls, it will be wind into a large roll. Then this roll will be sent to a finishing section, where in the finishing department it will be cutted, it will be coated with some non-oxidizing materials. It will be packed into a different types of end used paper, like printing paper, like in what we call this textbook paper or a notebook paper, etc. So in the finishing department, it will look after these things. Only up to here, in the paper mill, up to the calendar section, a winded roll will be coming. So this winded roll they will send to the finishing section. In the finishing section, they will be looking after this cutting or coating or packaging mechanism, whatever it is required. So this is regarding the flow sheet. So in detail, now we will see in each section what is happening. So first one is the preparation of a fiber suspension. So or a rearrangement of a fiber. So what is taking place in the rearrangement of a fiber or a formation of a wet web? So pulp or water slurry. So half to 3/4 percentage of fiber content will be there by mechanical disintegration. So this kneader will be there. So this kneader, we will say this beater. So this round drum. So this round drum is attached to some knife in order to disperse this fiber into the water suspension, so that one clear suspension will be created like this. So this water slurry, water and pulp slurry will be just sent to the next section using this screw conveyor. So this screw conveyor, until here the water content will be 99.5 percentage water content. So this kneader, this we will say this beater is the rotating drum with a knife attached or rotating stationary disc or used to produce a viscous shear. So this type of viscous shears will be produced. So this is called a beating and refining section. So this operation is called a beating and refining section. So here we can add a agents like fillers. So fillers is added to increase the brightness, bulkiness, flexibility, opacity, softness and weight of the finished paper, so that the fillers can be added. Then the sizing materials are added in order to offer a resistance to water. So like oily paper. So added to the slurry to reduce water or liquid penetration into certain paper products. So sizing materials will be added. And then if required, a coloring agents. So many coloring agents like a dyestuffs or a water insoluble pigments can be added here. So the slurry will be sent to the separate section using this screw conveyor. The next step is the formation of a paper. So how the formation of paper will take place? So the formation of paper will be taking place in the three steps. First is the formation of a wet web, then pressing the wet sheet and drying the sheet. In the formation of wet web, what it will takes place? The arrangement of a random arrangement of the fibers into wet web. Then pressing that wet web in order to remove the water, free water what is there, using the gravity or using the pressing roll or using the suction rolls. We will just separate the water. Then the remaining amount of water will be removed using the drying of the sheets using the steam heated rolls or metallic rolls. So this is the final step. After the final drying, so around 5 to 6% water content will be left. That water content can be removed using the calandria equipment. A series of rolls is nothing but a calandria equipment. Usually in the paper mill, this calandria whole operation, all these three steps can be carried out in a single equipment called a four drainer machine. So this is the four drainer machine which was invented earlier only. So this is called a four drainer process. So all this operation can be carried out use the formation of wet web, processing of wet web, drying of the sheet, and finally the calandria. These are called the calandria rolls. These calandria rolls are also there. All the steps along with the calandria rolls are carried out in this machine. Because of this, this equipment is known as a four drainer machine, and the process is known as a four drainer process. Then now we have seen that next section is this formation of a wet web. Formation of a wet web, how it will take place in a sectional view. In a cross-sectional view, this will looks like this one in the real plan. The same operation in the colored format we have shown here. This one you see the paper is moving in this direction. So the same operation will be carried out. All the four operations will be carried out in a single machine called a four drainer machine, and the process is called a four drainer process. So this is a series of arrangement of a rolls is known as a calandria section. So all the three steps in the formation of a paper is there together with the calandria equipment. So the process is called a four drainer process, and the machine which carried out all this operation is called a four drainer machine. So the next one is the formation of wet web. First we have prepared the slurry and then formation of wet web. So how does it forms? A wet sheet is formed by running 99.5% water fiber slurry evenly onto a moving endless belt of wire cloth. This is a moving endless belt. So here it is moving endless belts, these two. So in this belt, this will be passed. So suction zone will be here. So suction roll will extract some part of the water. Above this one pressure rolls will be there. It has not shown here, but some pressure rolls will be there. So this pressure roll will remove some part of water. This suction rolls will remove some part of water. Through gravity, some part of the water will be removed. Together, all this the water collected here will be known as a white water. In order to recycle the fiber content inside it, in order to recycle the various additives inside this water, and to lower the pollution, this white water will be recycled frequently back to the beater section or a refining section we will call. So this is the operation which is carried out in the forming a wet web. Then the pressing of the wet sheet, whatever the wet sheets are formed, it will be pressed in a series of pressure rolls. Pressure rolls or the felt rolls we will call. So felt rolls will be there. Before sending to the felt rolls, if required, a watermark will be added. Bond paper watermark or some company watermark or any mark is required. So here it will be added before sending to this pressing the wet web. So here the water content will be around 80%, and after passing through this felt roll, the water content will be 60 to 65%. So if required, some bond mark or some company mark will be added in the to the paper wet sheet there. Then after that, the 60 to 65% water will be there in the wet web or in wet sheet. That water content has to be removed by passing through a series of steam heated rolls. So series of steam heated rolls will be there. Through this, it will be passed. In the real paper mill, the rolls will be looking like this one. So this is the final roll, Calandria equipment. So here this is a what we call drying rolls or a steam heated drying rolls. After passing through this steam heated drying rolls, the fabric will have a sufficient weight. Um, then it will gain a sufficient weight. So this is regarding the drying rolls. Is the rolls will be heated using the steam. So heat will be supplied here. Humidify the paper required humidity for the paper will be supplied using this drying blanket. All this in the supporting rolls. Then through this supporting roll, this will be moved to the next section, and the next section is a Calandria section. So until here, the water content is around 5 to 6% water content will be there. Further, we can remove the water content in the Calandria section. In this Calandria section, now using the mild pressure, this the paper will be smoothed, and a smooth finish, a glossy finish can be obtained by passing through a series of rolls. Is called a Calandria section. So the sheet is then passed through a final series of pressure or calendering rolls to produce a smooth, well-finished paper. A calandria is a device with two or more rollers through which the paper is run. So through two or more rollers will be there depending on the type of smoothing we require. The compression of the roller and the application of heat gives the paper its smooth and glossy properties. Due to this compression, the smooth and glossy property will be obtained in the calandria section. It also gives a more uniform thickness. So thickness is uniform rather than irregular thickness. It will to obtain a uniform thickness, we have to pass through a calandria section. The pressure applied to the web by a roller determines the finishing of the paper. So whatever the pressure finishing we require, depending on that finish, we need to apply a pressure. So finally, it will be wound into a single roller. So this is called a roller. Finally, the paper will be rolled down or wound down into a single roll, and this entire roll will be sent to the finishing section. In the finishing section, they will cut, coat, and pack that particular paper according to the final requirement of the customer. Then what are the major engineering problems here? So major engineering problems are machine design. First of all, designing this machine is very complex. Okay, the sheets do not lose their strength. The fiber content needs to be arranged in a proper arrangement, and we should not provide what we call this. We should not provide excess drying. We should not provide excess heat to it, so that that particular paper obtained will be moving progressively, okay, with a uniform thickness. So in designing this roll, so this roll speed, in designing the roll speed in the drying section, allowance must be made for a 5 to 10% progressive stretching in each section, in each calandria, whether it may be here until here, the paper will acquire a maximum extension, maximum stretching here. In each section, we should allow only 5 to 10% of stretchable. So sheet, if in a first section the sheet is what we call 1 meter, so in the next section we should allow 5 to 10% progressive stretching. So if 1 meter is there, so in the next section we have to allow 1.5 to 2 meter, 1 point, what we call 1.05 to 1.2. So meters will be stretchable. That particular stretch needs to be minimum in each stage, so that the paper will have a progressive stretch pulled through the dryer. In the drying section, the maximum stretching of the paper will be acquired. So the tendency of paper to shrink on drying coupled with the machine tendency to stretch creates a delicate force balance in machine design. So in the machine design, whenever we are stretching, large stretching we apply, together insufficient heat we apply, so that will create a imbalance. So force balance imbalance will be there. Due to this force imbalance, the design of this entire equipment, entire four drainer machine is very complex. So we need to give a consideration in this machine design, so that the heat is properly supplied, the stretching will properly applied, and the rolls will be smoothed properly, so that force will be balanced inside that Calendria machine. So these two are the major engineering problems in forming this wet web and finally drying a sheet called a paper. So this is regarding the paper mill or the paper production. If you have any doubts, just ask me in this one. And if not, I will just continue to the next section. This was your textbook flow sheet. So just to the extension, just each and every part I have shown what it looks like in the real situation. So how they will be just molding from the wet web to the final thick sheet of a paper. So if you have a doubt, just ask me, or shall I continue? Can somebody is there? Just give me a note whether I have to stop here or whether I have to go to the next section or something.
Continue,
Sir,
sir.
once explain that formation of web.
Formation of wet web. Okay. So if you see the formation in the paper manufacturing or a paper production, there are three processes will be involved. So first one is the formation of wet web. So in the wet web, what will taking place? The random arrangement of fiber. If you see, fibers needs to be arranged so that it will obtain a uniform thickness as well as uniformity in the paper we need to get. In order to get that uniformity, the proper arrangement of that fiber will be there. So we need not to arrange the fiber content properly in each threading section, so that will be automatically adjusted because the slurry is already suspended in such a manner that the large part of that slurry will be occupied by a water. When we are passing the slurry, the pulp slurry, dilute pulp slurry through this roll, the first one, this roll, this is the endless roll, and above this one, when this pulp is passing like that, whenever that pulp is crossing through this pressing roll, so it will be pressed into a uniform sheet here, somewhat uniform we will obtain. So due to this mild pressing, whatever the water content will be there, it will be just due to this pressing, it will be coming down. And at the same time, due to some gravity also, water will pull down from this slurry. So due to gravity, some part of the water will be going down, and due to pressing, some part of the water will be going down. And the suction walls, okay, due to the force applied on that one, so some suction will happening here. So that suction, the water coming out due to the suction, all this combined due to water coming due to gravity, as well as water coming due to this pressing roll, water coming due to this suction rolls, all the water is sent back, which is called as a white water. This white water will contains the fillers which we added, additives which we added, or a sizing which we added, colors we added, all this will be contained in this one. So in order to recover that one, so in order to reuse them that one in the water, fiber content as well as additives, this water will be sent back to the beater section once again. Then from this beater section, once again this will add as a water through together with a makeup water. So some part of the water will be just losing here. So recover that one, makeup water will be added. So until now, Here the paper will have this sheet. The sheet formation is already over here. So now sheet has been obtained, but with a large amount of water. Nearly 80 percentage of water is here. So to remove this 80 percentage of water, so some felt rolls it is called. So felt roll will be somewhat confusing here. So when we pass that wet sheet through different types of designed rolls, what will happen? That particular paper will attain certain strength in order more than sufficient to balance its own weight. So we need to have a strength of the paper in such a way that it should be balanced its weight on their own. So to do that, this designs are such a way that that strength will be supplied to that particular paper sheet. So it will be passed through this confusing rolls called as a felt rolls. Through this, it will pass like this through this felt roll, and in every roll the pressure will be applied automatically. When this is passing to in the down section, this will act as a pressure rolls. This will apply a pressure roll. Then it is passing like this. They will apply a pressure together to this, so that uniform thickness will be obtained. After passing through here, it will be coming here. So here until here, the paper will have 60 to 65 percentage water. So we have to remove this water. How to remove this balanced amount of water? By passing it through a drying blanket. In this drying blanket, a series of steam heated rolls will be there, or metallic rolls will be called. These rolls will be there. In this series of steam heated rolls, the paper sheet, 60 to 65 percentage water containing paper sheet, will be just passed through it, this one. So when this pass, the water content will be automatically just drying off. Here, due to the suction and the pressure, the water content is draining. But due to this one, water is just evaporating. Heat water is just evaporating. So due to the evaporation mechanism of water, the remaining water content from this sheet will be removed. And from this sheet, when this is removed, the water content will be up to here. It is 5 to 6 percentage. So this is a supporting role in order to move the sheet from one section to the another section. So here it will be moved. That sheet will be removed through moved to the calandria section. The calandria section is nothing but a series of rolls in order to get a uniform thickness of the final prepared sheet. So until passing here in the felting section, before that we can add a watermark, because this entire paper is still in a wet condition, more wet condition. So when we add some watermark here, or a bond paper mark, if you observe in the bond paper, so bond paper it is written like that, marks can be added here using this watermark roll. Some more, roll will be there to that one, some dice will be attached. So that dice will just print on that bond paper, or some company logo, or some other company information. Everything will be just marked here. After passing through all these rolls in the calandria section, the smooth finish will be obtained in the to the paper sheet. Then finally it will be sent to the winding roll. In the winding roll, it will be the paper will be converted as a roll, a round roll. That particular big round roll will be going to the finishing section. In the finishing section, the paper will be cutted down according to the end user requirement, like a newspaper they want, or like they want a textbook paper, or a notebook paper, or a cardboard they want, depending on whatever the final commercial product they want. They will be looking after this packing, finishing, cutting, coating, and everything. If you require some what we call oily paper, some coating or non-oxidizing coating will be applied on this paper. That particular coating, cutting, finishing, everything will be looked after in the next section, which is called a finishing section. So, in detail, if you see, the roles in the real situation will looks like that. This is a 3D view. If you look at this one, so this is a supporting what we call, this is endless roll. These two all the endless roll. So this is called a suction roll. Whenever you are just passing through this one, above this one, they are not given here. So this press roll will also be there, pressure roll. So this pressure will be applied on this sheet. So by passing through this one, the sheet will gain a uniform thickness. So through suction, some part of water will be required. Through this is called a suction roll. Through suction, some part of the water will be acquired. Through this pressing roll, some part of the water will be collected down, and through this gravity, by the gravity itself, by natural way, the some part water the water will be recovered. So the sheet will be formed here. Until here will contain a 80 percentage of water. So this was regarding the formation of wet web. The next rest is the removal of water using the felt roll, and removal of water using the drying rolls. Then finally, to obtain a smooth finish as well as uniform thickness, the calandria rolls will be there. A series of rolls, more than 2 rolls will be present, and finally it will be sent to the winding section, winding roll. It will be the paper. Final sheet will be bounded as a paper. Final paper. Then the major engineering problems are machine design should be such a way that the rolls will be just acceptable to stretch down the paper or a sheet until 5 to 10 percentage only in each row. At the same time, we need to supply a proper heat to it. And when we are stretching more than that limit, so improper imbalance will be there, force balance will be there. So force balance will be a issue. Because of this, a single machine known as a four drainer machine will do all these four tasks. One is a formation of wet web also it is doing. Next one is a removal of water from the wet web, and third one is a removal of water from, using the heat or a heated rolls, and fourth one is the calandria rolls. So all these rolls will be contained in a single equipment called a four drainer machine. So that four drainer machine will be looking after all this process. Okay, Pavani, it is now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Shall I continue the next one?
Yes, sir. Continue.
Okay, time is there. Yeah. Okay, time is there. Okay. Yeah. Next one is the water paper coatings. Okay, now we just said the coatings in the finishing department. Uh, until now, this is paper already rolled, wounded in a using the winding roll. Then after that, a paper finishing operation will be carried out. Here, required on the commercial products. That if you require a oily paper, some coatings we have to add. Okay, some water resistant we require, some coatings we have to add. So what are the coatings? We have to list out that one. So coatings are improves the opacity, which are nothing but to increase the opacity. Opacity you consider when we are seeing from one side of the paper, it should be opaque on other side. It should not be transparent. So that is called opacity. Some lightness. So it should be highly bright. So in order to obtain a brightness, so this coatings can also be applied. Surface smoothness, to obtain a smooth paper. Okay, we need to apply this type of coatings. And lustre. Lustre is nothing but smoothness only. One type of glazing. We will call lustre means glazing. And color absorption ability of paper. So whatever the paper is there, if you want a coloring paper, that capacity will be increased using certain coatings. Okay, if some of the coatings can be directly fed during the beating section or a refining section, some of the coatings we will add in the finally finished paper in the finishing section. So all this comes under the paper coating. So paper coatings are which improves the opacity, lightness, surface smoothness, luster, and color absorption ability of the paper. So coatings means that a layer is applied to the paper either directly in the paper making machine or separately during the paper preparation itself in the beating or refining section. Then variety of coated papers range from pigmented to a cast coated. So the coat consists of a mix of pigment extenders such as china clay, chalk, binders such as starch or latex. All these are applied depending on the what end use requires, what type of end use the particular paper is going to use. Depending on that one, whatever the pigments or whatever the extenders which are required to improve the characteristics of that particular paper, we will apply the coating materials. In addition, various chemicals are also added to give the paper the desired characteristics. Okay, when we required some water resistant characteristics, some fillers we will add, some sizing materials we will add. So like this, the paper coatings are required here. Then what are chemical additives? So paper coatings, all these coatings will be act as a additive in the paper manufacturing. So what are that additives? So chemical additives, adding chemical additives. Why to add these chemical additives? So by adding these chemical additives, we will increase the improves the fiber and fiber to fiber bonding. So when we are forming a thick sheet or a thin sheet, so the fiber to fiber gap will not be much. Okay, when we are forming the closely related fiber, then only it will be called as a fiber. Otherwise, if you just see what we call this paper, some low grade paper, if you take, the fiber to fiber gap will be very high. So that particular wound will be very high. That particular fiber to fiber gap is very high, then the writing will not be possible. The printing will be very hard on that one. So in order to improve the fiber and fiber bonding, fiber to fiber bonding, we will add a chemical additives. Then retain fibers and fines, giving better yield from the same raw material. So whatever the same raw materials are there, with using some additives, some adding some chemical additives. If for example, from the softwood, if you obtain some low grade paper, by adding a chemical additives, we will just obtain the high grade paper using the same raw materials. So that particular type of chemicals we will see in the later. Then when we are adding the additives, it will increase or a better glazing and stiffing properties will be obtained. So glaze or lustre properties of the final finished product will be very high when we are adding certain chemical additives. Then to increase in breaking length and double fold tear. So whenever we are folding the paper, why can't it is breaking? So in order to give that strength to the particular paper or the folding strength, some chemical additives will be added. So the chemical additives will also increase the basic breaking strength and double fold tearing property, lower the tearing property. Then factors and other strength properties with respect to writing printing paper industry. So the factors, like if you want a good printing paper, so we will add some other type of chemicals. If you want a cardboard type paper, if you want this what we call carton type of papers, in order to pack that one, we will just go for a normal strength paper or a hard strength paper. If you want a good printing paper, some glossy properties, some brightening properties will be increased by adding some chemical additives. Depending on the end use only, we will add certain additives, but the role of the additives is same. Then chemical additives improves the formation of paper and fiber distribution. So fiber distribution, same as this point, improves the fiber distribution, as well as that fiber to fiber gap will be just lowered. So to increase the formation of a paper. Then what are these additives? What are these chemical additives? So the first one is a wet strength additive. So this wet strength additive is added when we dissolve oily paper in some water. Why can't it just wet it down? Because the particular paper is synthesized in such a way that it should be remaining in a wet strength state. Its wet strength is very high. So this wet strength additive will just ensure that paper retains its strength when it is wet. Very important for making a tissue paper. This is very important for making a tissue paper, because tissue papers are used for many purposes or wet purposes. Then examples of these chemicals used are urea formaldehyde. Some part of this urea formaldehyde and polyamines will be added to give a wet strength to the paper whenever they are wetting. So to gain a strength from this wetting, that particular chemicals will be added. Then a dry strength additive to remain in the dry condition as such. Okay, we are using in the normal condition, some additives will be added. So include which includes dry strength additives, which includes compression strength, bursting strength, tensile breaking strength, etc. To give this all this strength to the paper, chemicals like cationic starch or polyacrylic amide derivatives will added to the fiber content during this what we call during this beating and refining section. So this dry strength additives can be added like cationic starch and polyacrylic amide. So PAM we will call PAM derivatives we can add. Then the coloring agent. If you require some specific color to the paper, we will add this coloring agent. So examples for these coloring agents are dyes we can add, or if required some water insoluble pigments we can add. Depending on the whatever color we are using for the end product, we can add. Then the optical brightness, brightening agent or artificial whiteness we will call popularly, this optical brightening agent. In order to obtain a white paper, so we will just have to add some additives. So this type of additives makes paper more whiter by absorbing UV light from fluorescent and re-emit in the blue region. So the mechanism which offers by these chemical additives of optical brightening agent or this type, they will just absorb the UV light from the fluorescence and re-emit the blue light, so that we can so that that particular paper will be appearing as a white color, whiter section. Some examples of this additives, this type of additives are derivatives of diazoles and triazoles, benzooxazoles, then imidazolines. So this type of additives will be added in order to give a optical brightening strength for that particular type of paper. Then what are the types of paper products? This is nothing but what are the type of products. If you see here, So whenever we are adding certain paper with brightening, optical brightening agent, so it will cheat on the light, so that it will be appeared as a white color paper. So the paper products, what are the paper products? Depending on the end use requirement, there are many types of paper products. So based on the use requirement and characteristics, the paper products are classified here as wrapping paper. So bag paper or grease proof paper, whatever is there, we will form as a wrapping paper, this one. So depending on the particular strength we require, it will form, the final paper will be formed as a wrapping paper. Then the tissue paper. So in order to prepare a cigarette, or a carbon paper, or a toilet paper, or a towel, napkin paper, everything, it will be classified as a tissue paper. Then the book paper, so coated or uncoated, depending on whatever the coated we required or uncoated. Like if you see, what acid resistant paper will be there in the PhD thesis, during the PhD thesis printing. So PhD thesis will be remaining for the lifetime. So we used to print our thesis on the acid resistant paper. So how that acid resistance will be obtained? Using some coatings only. Depending on the requirement of final coating, these papers will be just given as a book paper. Then lithograph, offset, and textbook papers, everything, this will be classified as a book paper. Then the writing paper, so bond weight, Lenin papers, and everything will be comes under the writing paper. Then the groundwood printing paper, so catalogs, newsprint, tablet, these posters, wallpapers, everything will be just printed on this groundwood printing paper. Then the final paper product is a paper board. For the heavier, this will have a characteristics of heavier, less flexible, laminated paper stocks. So for the carton preparation, these paper boards will be very useful because they are heavier, they are less flexible. We can't bend as such. Okay, these papers can be bent as such. So this will have a less flexibility, but they offer say strong carrying ability. So other substance can be stored inside that one. So these are laminated paper stocks. Then is what is the application of paper? So application of paper, if you see, papers can be produced with a wide variety of properties depending on the intended use, depending on the final use, depending on the final customer requirement. The paper, the formation of pulp, up until the pulp preparation, it is everything same. But the paper preparation, initially, during the paper preparation itself, the end use is already defined. Depending on that only, the formation of wet web or a wet sheet, whatever the watermark is required, whatever the additional additives are required, chemical additives are required, everything will be just initially everything was fixed. Okay, depending on the end use only, these type everything was fixed. Then for representing a value, so papers can be used for representing a value, nothing but a paper money which we are using, bank note, checkbook, or a security voucher and a ticket, everything will be representing a value of that particular amount. Okay, this particular paper will be used for representing a value. Then for storing information, so storing information, like we are using a notebook or a textbook, everything will comes under newspaper, magazine, art, and letters, everything will comes under this. For a paper is used for a storage information, storing information. Then for communication, so communication between individuals, like we are writing a letters, okay, like office orders or a government orders, everything will be coming under the papers. For communication, we can also use the paper. For packaging, it's like cardboards, we will use corrugated boxes, paper bag, envelope, packing, wrapping paper, and wallpapers, everything will coming under the, for packing purpose. For packing purpose also, we can use the paper. For cleaning purpose, like toilet paper, handkerchief, paper towels, facial tissues, everything will comes can be used as a can use paper as a cleaning agent. Then for construction, in the construction also, recently many techniques are invented in order to lower the construction material and to increase the use of this paper waste. So papria mache we will call, origami, paper planes, quilling, paper honeycomb, used as a core material in the composite materials. Okay, composite materials are nothing but more than one material. Okay, together with the building material, paper materials can also be used for the construction purpose, so that it will gain some strength. That paper, so some recent advancement, if you see in the construction material, the bricks is constructed using our what thermocol balls. So thermocol balls will be there. If you just incorporate that thermocol balls into the building material or in a brick material, that particular brick will be just floated on the water. It will have a strength, high strength compared to the normal brick. So recent advancement was this one. I don't know much detail about that one. You can just verify through the web. So construction material using some paper materials also can be used. Then paper engineering, construction paper and paper clothing, etc. can be paper can be used for this purpose also. Then for other uses like emery papers, sandpaper, sandpapers, you know that for polishing everything, blotting papers, litmus papers, we have many litmus papers and universal indicator paper. Yes. Okay, paper chromatography we will use, then electrical insulating paper. Okay, everything we will use the paper. These are the common application. I could able to list out these applications, so you can just go through these applications. Then I think we have a time. Okay. Yeah. What are the economics of this paper industry? So how the economics of this paper industry is there? So first economic problem which is facing by the recent paper industries are the shortage of fibrous raw materials. Okay. If you see many industries are just closing, they are shutting down because why? Because the shortage of this bamboo or shortage of this raw material. Because of the shortage of raw material, many industries are closing. If you verify the Sirpur paper mills, they have closed nearly for the 2 years. So in the last 2 years, they have just in a shutdown mode only. Why? Because this is because the lack of forest, lack of this fibrous raw materials. So the economic of this paper industry will be largely dependent on the availability of these raw materials as an in a cheaper price, or labor also at a cheaper price. Then the next one is the high prices and shortage of chemicals. If you see many alkali in the sulfate process or the sulfide process, many chemicals we are using, like sodium sulfate we are using, sodium hydroxide we are using. All these are the alkali industries. The paper industry is directly dependent on the largely on the alkali industry. So the alkali industries, due to the chemical, that's the core chemical industry, alkali industry, they will sell their chemicals at a high prices. So high prices and shortage of the chemicals. Okay, the chemicals which are required for the paper industry operation, they don't, they find a shortage in that one because a lack of many alkali industries in our part of India. So especially in India, there are no many alkali industries. As far as I remembered, in the Andhra Pradesh, there is a Rayalaseema Alkalis Limited is there, and Gujarat there is one alkali manufacturing plant, state government, Gujarat state government, I guess. Okay, as far as I remember, only hardly we can find 3 to 4 alkali manufacturing industry to synthesize NaOH, Na2SO4 like these alkalis. We have only very limited plants. So because of this shortage of these alkalis and at the same time their high prices, so economics of the paper industry is also dependent on this availability of these chemicals at a cheaper prices. Then procurement of this plant and equipments. So plant and equipment. So we have a technology to manufacture a pulp mill, manufacture a pulp using the various raw materials, but we don't have a indigenous technology. Indigenous technology which are developed within India for the paper manufacturing, like a four drainer machine. It is coming from other country, the technology is coming from the other country, and at the same time that the particular equipment, four drainer equipment, will be manufactured by other countries. We have to import, we have to depend on the import of that particular machine. So we don't have any technology for production of paper from the pulp. We have a technology, we have our own equipments for preparation of pulp. Okay, until pulp we have everything, but after pulp, to mold that pulp into a paper, we don't have a technology as well as a machinery preparation process, the machinery design process. So everything will be dependent on the import of that paper making machine. So economics of this paper industry will also depends on the procurement of plant and equipments also. So this was regarding the paper industry. I hope you understood this one. If you have anything to say or if you have any doubts, you can just ask me. Anybody? Pavani or Ravi?
Sir,
Yeah, any doubts?
no, sir.
Yeah, okay. maximum whatever which are asking in your question papers, old question papers, has summarized everything. Applications of paper, these are asking in the short answer questions. Types of paper products and types of additives which are used in the paper industry. Okay, additives will also come in the food industry, which you are going to see in the fifth unit. So you need not to confuse in between those additives which are used in the food and those additives which are used in the paper. Okay. Then paper coatings, what are the paper coatings? These are also asking in the short answer questions. You can just verify that one. So one class I will take to summarize the whole of this unit. Okay, unit 4. Then afterwards we will move to the next unit, which is the food and food industry and the corrosion. Okay, corrosion and its prevention. Okay, then I have just given a mail ID. Yes. Yeah, I have just given a mail ID in the WhatsApp. Those people who are about to submit their assignments, due date is I guess 28th or 29th September, 28th I guess. So which is given in the Word file. You can just verify that before the due date you have to submit your assignment by scanning and sending to that mail ID. Already Vamsadhara already sent me that her notes. Those who are writing notes, they need not to write once again that one. But my sincere request is to prepare that questions once again. Take that question as an example, whether you are able to answer that question using the notebook or not. Okay, if required something else, you just prepare from the textbook or ask me if you have any doubts. Okay, just work out for your assignment sincerely. Okay, after the due date of this assignment, I will just close the assignment 1 and give you marks immediately. Then I will give you a unit 2 assignment. Okay, this was regarding this unit 4. Okay, thank you for listening.